Hello, boys and girls. Week 6, day 3. We're continuing on main idea, and this week we're working a little differently. You're going to be having your loose leaf piece of paper that we got you prepped and ready for. You're going to have 5 stories this week. We're going to do 2 today, 2 tomorrow, and then 1 on your last day. So there's our 3 days. And our focus, guys, is still going to be identifying the main idea in a paragraph. And it is a super important skill. And we're going to get going right away. So you want to open that other document. And your first story is kind of like a warm-up one. So you're going to see this again tomorrow. It's going to be a very short little main idea. Then we're going to do these together. And then by Friday, I'm hoping you guys can do a little bit more independently. Okay, so that's what we're trying to shoot for our videos for this week. So your first story is about Rosalind Carter. And if you're following along while I'm reading, you're following along on that document, and you have your paper out in front of you and you have your video. So you do need to have a split screen, so you're following along in the text. You have your documents you're going to be writing out this week instead of typing. We can't do triple screen where you have your typing and your video and me all at the same time. We're not going to do that. We're not that wild and crazy. So we're going to have your story out. You're going to follow along with Rosalind Carter. We're going to figure out our main idea as we go. Rosalind Carter, the wife of President Jimmy Carter, took her role as First Lady seriously. She did not let her time in the White House pass her by. Mrs. Carter attended official meetings and represented the United States on business trips. Mrs. Carter also supported programs to help needy citizens. For example, she worked to improve the lives of elderly people and citizens with mental health problems. Another accomplishment of Mrs. Carter was pointing out the importance of the performing arts to our society. So right now, boys and girls, I want you to write down what you believe your own main idea is. I will type in our answer shortly. Pause me and then unpause me when you have it. Okay, so the main idea I have is she took her job seriously. And remember, there are times when authors flat out tell us the main idea. This author does. This author in the second sentence right after they said she was the wife of President Jimmy Carter, the first sentence, and they said she didn't let her time pass her by. She took her job seriously is the main idea. That's what the author wants to convey to us. So now I want you to go back into the text, find 3 things that support that she took her job seriously. And unpause me once you have them. Again, this is a warm-up. Hopefully it's quick, easy, and you can get them. All right, so you've unpaused me. I have the first detail. She attended official meetings. She also represented the U.S. on business trips. And the last one, she supported programs. For needy citizens. Okay? So make sure you had those right. Hopefully you got all of them. It's right in the text, guys. They do go into a little detail about what she would do to help those in need. She gets into it and says, for example, that's just showing a little bit more of our detail there of that she supported programs for needy citizens. So they go into detail even further with needy citizens. They talk about the elderly and people with mental health problems. So that's it. That's our warm-up. Pretty easy. So let's get going to our main article. I'm going to zoom down here. And notice how many main ideas I have. I have 1, 2, 3 main ideas. Now the problem is in our Arctic tundra, we only have 4 paragraphs. However, I want you to see how these paragraphs are chunked. If you look at paragraphs 1 and 2, I believe they are chunked together. See how they're close together there? They're not separated. I actually whited out the spot above it, which would tell us what those two paragraphs are going to be about. So when we do main idea 1, it's going to be paragraphs 1 and 2. Main idea number 2 will be just paragraph 3, and then the very last main idea will be paragraph 4. Okay? So we're going to read this one time through, and then we're going to fill them in as we go. I could kind of zoom in my screen here a little bit for you guys so you guys can see a little bigger. Okay? The Arctic tundra. So again, we're going to read 1 and 2 together, and we're going to write down what the gist, what is going on in this. Tundra is mostly flat land in areas that are too cold for trees to grow. Most of the world's tundra is inside the Arctic Circle. In these areas, soil beneath the top layer stays frozen all the time. The frozen soil is called permafrost. Temperatures stay below freezing for most of the year. Summers are always short and very little rain or snow falls. Water that does fall does not drain away because the land is flat and mostly frozen. This means that when the weather warms up in the summer, much of the land turns into a muddy swamp. So again, you're on your next loose leaf page. You can put your topic up top, your Arctic tundra. And if you have those colors at home, if you want to make them pop out a little more for you, you can write them, kind of highlight them after we're all done with these. So your first 2 paragraphs. Now, do you remember I said sometimes the main idea has to be inferred, meaning the author doesn't flat out come out and say, here's my main idea, like the one we just did. That was pretty easy, right? That they come out and said that sentence, that she took her job very seriously. This one, we have to kind of put the puzzle pieces together, which means an inference. We have to decide what it is they're really talking about in this paragraph. So if you look at paragraph 1, let's go over some key details. Let's go over the details first, and then we can help us decide on what it is they're really talking about. So they tell us that tundra is a flat land, too cold. It's in the Arctic Circle. The soil beneath the top layer is frozen all the time. And the soil is called permafrost. It's a lot of details there. And then it says temperatures stay below freezing for most of the year. Summers are always short. No rain. Water doesn't drain away. And the weather does warm up and it turns muddy. So what are all of those things talking about? Now again, we got a lot of details to add. I'm going to have to add more details down here. But I want you guys right now, this is a very difficult one, come up with what is that paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 talking. I want you to pause me, try this. I want you to try it. Just like in class, you would try this by yourself. I will reveal our answer together. Okay, so you have unpaused me, which means you have something filled in for your first main idea, which is paragraphs 1 and 2. If you're looking at paragraphs 1 and 2, aren't they simply just describing what the tundra is? Okay, or they're defining us. Okay, they're telling us basically what is the tundra. They're giving us all sorts of facts of what make things in a tundra. So the first facts that we have is flat land. I'm going to kind of combine a lot of facts here so we keep them together. Flat land that's too cold. Most of the land is in the Arctic Circle. I'm going to skip that detail. In these areas, soil beneath the top layer stays frozen. So the frozen soil is called permafrost. So far, look at those 2 details. This is helping me tell me what the main idea is. They're telling me what is the tundra. The tundra has to be flat land. It's very cold. And the frozen soil is so cold that it's called, permafrost. Okay? I want you to go ahead and copy those unpause them when you have them, and we're going to go into the next details, which would be our second paragraph. So I'm going to have to add one more. All right, so you've unpaused me if you filled those in. Again, you can highlight these in after you're all done. Highlight them in a pink or a red. We want those details to stand out. Temperatures stay below freezing. Temp below freezing for most of the year. So we don't live in the tundra, if you think about that. So this is giving us a definition of what it means to live in the tundra. Some land we have here is flat, and yes, it's cold, but it's not, all below freezing all most of the year. So we're going to put most of the year. Temp below freezing most of the year. Keep going into that second paragraph. Summers are always short, very little rain, water does not fall away, does not drain away. So we're going to say little rain and no drainage. And then in parentheses, I'm going to put swamps. Because in the summertime, it gets swampy. And that's it. There's my 4 details. Again, I combined a lot of those together, but it's kind of a detail that helps me. Now, how does this help me learn? This helps me decide what is a tundra. This is basically my main idea. Paragraphs 1 and 2 are introducing us to what it is to fall in the category of a tundra. All right. This second main idea, which goes into paragraph number 3, a little easier. I think you're going to nail this one. That first one was hard. I'll give you a clue. This one, they don't say the main idea, but I think you can infer this one a little better than that first one. So we're going to read this together. Paragraph 3 is its own main idea. Mosquitoes love swamps, and in the summer months the air is thick with them. Some birds nest in the bushes in summer and then fly south when the long winter sets in. Reindeer and other grazing animals eat low-growing plants. A few kinds of hares and rabbits do too. In turn, foxes, wolves, snowy owls, and bears eat these animals. Compared with other places, the tundra is home to very few plants and animals. The climate is just too hard. Okay? I guess the author kind of does hint at what the main idea is on this one. So it's kind of in that sentence. That last conclusion sentence kind of is a giveaway for us. But pretty easy. Go ahead, pause me, type in what you think your main idea is. Okay, so you've unpaused me. Hopefully you have your own main idea filled in. I said life on the tundra. You could have had something different. You could have said few plants, few life, few plants, few animals. That's a perfect main idea. That's fine. I just said the word life on the tundra. And what are some details? We talk about the mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. Mosquitoes in summer. It's pretty much when we get our mosquitoes. I'm typing in mosquitoes wrong. Mosquitoes. There we go. Mosquitoes are in the summer. Then we have birds. Reindeer. Hares. Rabbits. I'm just making a list. Fox. Wolves. Owls. You get the point. I'm going to put ... We don't have to list every animal, but another important detail that I'm going to say, there are few plants. Or excuse me, the climate is just too hard. I don't want to put few plants because that would be our main idea. We want to put the climate is too harsh. Harsh, not harsh. So there's our second main idea about life living on things that are alive on the Arctic tundra. We've got mosquitoes that are in the summer, and then we got a whole gaggle of wildlife. We've got birds, reindeer, hares, rabbit, fox, owls. We also had bear in there too that I didn't add. And then we can simply say that the climate is too hard, so that's why you don't find a lot of animals down there. Okay, and our last one today, again, you're writing all these down, so you're going to turn them in. Our last paragraph is going to be our final one. It doesn't sound like a great place to live, does it? The truth is, the Arctic tundra is beautiful in its way. Some people do choose to live there. For a few groups in the United States and in Russia, this is cold, lonely, and a beautiful place is home. So go ahead, pause me, write down what you think the main idea is about, and unpause me once you have it. Okay? And you could say humans living, or you can just say living there. Humans living there. And our details, we have our few people. Whoops, I cannot type today. Another detail we have that it is lonely. But it is also beautiful. place to live. I don't think I would consider myself to live in the Arctic tundra. There we go, guys. 15 minutes. So you have 2 pages. You had one on Rosalind Carter. That was pretty easy. That was our warm-up that we did together. That's all 1 page. And then you have another loose leaf piece of paper where our topic is the Arctic tundra. And again, you needed to pause me and fill these in anywhere that you went. You may do so. Take care, and I'll see you for the next day. More Maine ideas. Bye.